I just a quick bit of advice, and I think I mentioned a lot of things in previous videos, and just it comes rehashes up. Excuse me. Try to get to work early. Try to get to your unit early, in my opinion. Um, and there are a lot of great nurses that don't, and they're able to hack it, but they've all gotten years of experience, many years of experience. Someone would be angry with me for saying, "Yeah, I'm not that old, right?" Then they're not, and all of them are younger than me. Don't get me wrong. Even my preceptor, but she tended to get there earlier than most. And to give you a number, she probably at least a half hour, anywhere between half hour to 45 minutes earlier. So if it's a 7 o'clock shift, she'd be there 6:15, 6:30 the latest, and that was like her running late. She didn't like that. Actually, a number of my preceptors. I had a couple preceptors, and that was a constant with all of them. Actually, I don't even remember any of them being like last minute nurses, and some people coming in at 7:01. Besides just, and I'll get into your prep. It's good for the outgoing nurse because you're got to get report and let them go. So 7:01 nurses piss me off because I'm not even giving report until, if I'm lucky, 7:05, 7:10. If it's updates, then it's no big deal. I say, yeah, we high five and move on. Because there's like no changes. Okay, there's just some changes. Like today, actually, this morning I had to give a couple changes, one new patient and a couple changes, significant changes. But there's updates. I mean, I was out of there. I was done with updates by about 15 minutes, not even. And I give a long update. I give in depth and going over points because you can tell I ramble. But if you're the nurse giving report and and whoever's coming in at 7:01, 7:05, even 6:55, honestly, they got to sit down to put away their stuff. They're lucky to sit down in front of the computer at 7 o'clock, right? Didn't you want to clock out at 7 o'clock? That doesn't happen. But wouldn't it be nice to clock out at 7:30 then? Let's say you had to pick up your kid from school. 7:45. It ain't gonna happen. Are you gonna instantaneously travel from the hospital to school unless it's across the street? No. You see, it's being considerate to your fellow coworkers, in my opinion. That's really 1A, if you want to say, to arrive early. I arrive super early. Right now it's 5:20. I'll be on the unit at 5:30. But honestly, that's because I had a shit show yesterday. It wasn't my fault. It wasn't any of the nurses' fault. It wasn't the tech's fault even. And we were lucky to get techs because at one point we didn't have any techs. It was zero. It was the nurses and that's it. And we were like, holy crap. Finally, we were able to beg someone to come in and get some help, but it was a crap show. And part of that was because I kept getting orders. None of my meds were clustered. So it wasn't like, okay, I could do this. No, every hour on the hour, I had new meds of different patients or whatever. And I was like, wow. So I could never, and then obviously you're going to get interrupted constantly. So it was very difficult to chart, very difficult to catch up. But my preceptor, like I said, my main preceptor taught me a very good bit of advice. Whenever you have a minute, chart something. Don't care what it is. Don't care how long it is. Chart something. You got a free second? Don't take a breath in. Chart something. I'm like a Marine sergeant, but I love her. She's great. She taught me a lot. So I actually had a third of my charting done by the time I really kind of caught up the wave, the daily wave. And so I actually finished all my charting on time, everything on time, even though I had a shit show. And I think my coworkers are shocked. But part of that is also because I come in so early and I prep. I want to make sure I know what meds I'm giving. I want to make sure I know when and why what I can crush, what I can't crush, whys, because that helps me. Because I've caught a couple errors, if you want to call them that way, and say, look, no, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to give that. I'm not going to bother the patient with this. What do you want to do? And they say, no, yes, or whatever. Or we go to the doc or the provider and try to get something changed rather than last minute. And maybe that's easy for day shift people, but night shift we're flying solo, and most new nurses, you're going night shift, at least to start with. They kind of temper us, and then we could take our pick. But I like night shift. It's a different crew. We're a family onto our own. But you have to learn to think independently. And I found, when I sit down with peers now, we have our case studies or what have you, in our residency. It's not even a test for me, because I'm like, I'm getting flashbacks of work. I don't like this. I answer the questions. I don't want to be the teacher's pet, so I'm just like, I can answer that, but that reminds me of yesterday. I don't want to deal with it again, please. And they laugh, because sometimes the educators and I are the ones dealing with it, and I'm like, no, that was yesterday, right? They're like, yep. So you don't have to answer that one, right? Don't worry, but the rest of you do, because it's already stuff I do every day. I get paid to do that stuff, and that's right. You have to study that stuff. You have to know what to do, because that's going to be your work. That's going to be your life. And that's why you want to prepare. If you're going to have to do something for the day, run an errand, pick up your kids, do work, and do your kids, and do dinner, and do the house. Wouldn't it be nice to be prepared? Have the cleaning supplies there. Have your kids' laundry done. Home, lunch is packed. Gas filled in the car. A to-do list. That's what I'm talking about. Just, that's what getting to work early is about. That's what prepping your scrubs, all that is about. Not doing it last minute. You're not going to be able to swim or float very long doing that. Above water, you're going to sink very quickly. So definitely prepare. Try to get to work early. Okay? Good luck.